Welcome back to part number 2 of What If Darth Vader Found Luke Skywalker on Tatooine. Thank you for your support on part 1. If you are not aware of the first part, please watch that first before watching this video. The link will be in the description below. The Sith apprentice was unwilling to go back to his Imperial Star Destroyer, but an officer aboard of his ship reported that the Emperor was requesting his presence. Vader could not go against the request of his master and reluctantly docked in the main hangar. Walking down to the bridge, he bowed to the hologram of his master, who asked him if he had completed the deal, and Vader nodded his head. Unfortunately, the Emperor sensed something more to his trip on Tatooine, and Vader was forced to reveal that he had encountered another Force sensitive with extreme potential. The Sith Lord tells his apprentice to be patient, as in time, the Jedi would move towards them, but Vader is not sure. As the Emperor's creepy holographic figure disappeared, Vader got to his feet and walked to the bridge, watching over the galaxy that he now commanded. As he looked at the navigational officers, he is interrupted by a report from one of his troopers on Tatooine. They had reported of the presence of Luke Skywalker at the settlement of Anchorhead, and the description fitted exactly that of which Vader described. The Sith orders for all of the flights in recent times to be examined in detail, but the Jedi were one step ahead. As they had not departed from any of the spaceports on Tatooine, Obi-Wan and Luke had managed to avoid the detection of the hunting Empire and had safely found their way to Senator Bail Organa on Alderaan. Obi-Wan reveals that Luke was being tracked down by Vader and his forces, and that they had to begin their move to train the Jedi. Reluctantly, Bail Organa agreed, but is unwilling to allow Leia to be trained, given her value to the rising rebellion. The rebel princess emerges from the palace entrance to meet Obi-Wan and Luke, and the Jedi Master reveals that they were twins from the former Senator Padme Amidala. Luke and Leia are angered at their separation since birth, but there was nothing that could be done now. If they were to defeat both the Emperor and Vader, Luke would have to be trained. But as they are about to leave the planet, an enormous Imperial fleet hovered overhead, and Obi-Wan sensed that they were in grave danger. Bail Organa organises the stationed rebel troops to evacuate to a secret rendezvous point organised by Leia, whilst Obi-Wan focused on getting Luke off of the planet and fighting off the forces. As he is about to make his way into Organa's hangar, the area is struck by heavy blaster fire, and Obi-Wan and Luke are projected backwards into some cargo boxes. From the smouldering remains, Darth Vader stomped out with a battalion of stormtroopers. Obi-Wan ignited his blade, protecting Luke as Vader ordered his troops to capture Luke. Obi-Wan helped the stricken Tatooine native to retreat to his ship, but before he could get inside a starship to fly away, Vader had thrown the whole weight of his suit at him, and Obi-Wan limped back, feeling the power of his former apprentice. Vader had grown more refined in the dark side from their previous duel, and Obi-Wan was struggling to parry his attacks. Ordering Luke to get to any ship, the moment of distraction for Obi-Wan was all Vader needed, as he force pushed his former master into a wall, knocking him temporarily unconscious. Leaving Obi-Wan to wake up to another failure, Vader took Luke into his personal shuttle, and the Imperial forces followed the lead of their commander in leaving the planet. Re-entering his Imperial Star Destroyer, Vader brought Luke into one of the ship's cells and told him that he had been lied to by Obi-Wan. Luke is quick to defend the Jedi Master, but Vader declares that he was the father of Luke, and it was his destiny to join him and defeat the Emperor. Leaving Luke in his cell, Vader stamped away to the bridge. Back on Alderaan, Obi-Wan awoke, then shook his head, then absorbed his surroundings, finding he was alone in the burning ruins of Bail Organa's hangar. Scrambling to the nearest open area, he saw Imperials walking all over the surface, and he suddenly remembered that Luke was gone and now in the arms of the Empire. Igniting his lightsaber in case he needed it, Obi-Wan cleverly leapt over the top of the ruins and into the forest, finding an abandoned Imperial TIE fighter to escape. The stormtroopers fire at the hull of the ship, but Obi-Wan leaves Alderaan and contacts Bail Organa, relaying that Luke had gotten away. The Senator decides that Obi-Wan should travel to Dagobah and ask Master Yoda on what to do next, and he takes an X-Wing starfighter to the swampy planet. Landing in the midst of a forest, Yoda is waiting for him, and he looked at the floor in shame. He cannot fail the Jedi again. That is it for part 2 of What If Darth Vader Found Luke on Tatooine. If you'd like to see a part 3 soon, please like this video, turn on that notification bell, click that subscribe button for more tips, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.